Hey Reddit, what's something that's actually better than sex? For those who stress worry over it, paying off debts. I recently paid off one of my debts, again. Paying it off the first time, it turns out that the person I spoke to over the phone told me that I couldn't make payments of under £1, so there was something tiny like 0.15p left on the debt. She said that the debt would just be erased since it was under £1. Received a letter 2 years later being told that the same debt had increased to over £300. I was furious. I always joke that I'm only a chef for the compliments. But seriously, when I put my heart into a dish and the guests are telling me how good it was, I feel like the coolest guy. When they sit there and thank you for the best evening they had in a long while, you feel on top of the world. Sleep. Uninterrupted sleep followed by naturally waking up on your own. Even on Sundays and with no alarms I wake up at the same time as on weekdays and with an alarm. Damn you body, relax today please. When someone cancels plans when you didn't want to go in the first place. And you didn't like them because they constantly flaked in the first place. I used to be bad for flaking. Now I just don't make plans. Everyone wins. Cracking that one spot in your neck or back and immediately all your neck and or back pain goes away. One time I was working in a machine shop and I had to wiggle a drum full of scrap metal out so the forklifts could grab it. It probably weighed 17 zillion pounds. So I pumped myself up, literally threw my back into it, and heaved. My entire spine popped. I mean from my pelvis to my shoulder blades, in a fraction of a second, and up like a zipper. I am not exaggerating that the feeling was orgasmic, and then I was chill and mellow the rest of the day. Going for a piss when you're absolute busting. I swear there's been times I've almost orgasmed, it felt so good when I've been holding it for hours. Closing all 15 tabs when you're done with a project. Waking up and not knowing what time it is, praying you don't have to get up in the next 20 minutes, then checking a clock and seeing you have a whole 3 hours to sleep. That's why I put multiple alarms that are unevenly spaced out. I put my first one quite early, and give myself around 20 minutes before the next alarm. Then 15 minutes, then another one 10 minutes later. So I still sleep lightly between the alarms, then it progressively begins to wake me. The first time you use your own toilet at home after a long trip. Honestly, I just came back from a 2-week long trip to Japan and now my toilet is just a disappointment. Right. I went for my first time a few months ago. As an American, I knew we tend to have an inflated sense of self-importance, status, etc. But I also wasn't so naive to think we are the best at everything. But my god. Those Japanese toilets were beyond my apparently unimpressive imagination. The one at my hostel, don't get me started about their hostels, basically like 3-4-star hotels, had a freaking dashboard of electronic buttons. Just pissing and only need a low flush for water economy? There's a button for that. Massive log and need a high flush? Another button. Bidet? Button. Would you like some medium volume white noise to discreetly muffle the sound of your sick shart's diarrhea? There's a goddamn music button for that. The rest of the developed world needs to get their together, preferably in electronic toilets. When it's raining at night and there's no school the next day. When work school is closed due to snow forecasts, and the sun actually comes out instead. When you thought you failed a test and you actually passed. And the professor curved the exam so you actually got a really high grade. Getting and feeling the warmth of a genuine hug when you thought you didn't need it. Can't relate. Helpless. Here's a virtual hug for you. Laughing really hard with someone you love and who loves you. My wife and I laughed really hard the other day and it was great the end. We once got into a fit of giggles which lasted over half an hour. It was painful by the end, but after it finally ended, we just kissed and said I love you. That still remains one of my all-time favorite memories. When you run your code and it just works. Also when you find that one bug that's been causing problems for days. I'm not a programmer, but I use VBA. Don't suggest alternatives. I work for a company that doesn't let us install any software ourselves and we are running Ms. Office 10. And nothing feels better than automating Excel tasks that my co-workers let take hours of their work every week for years. I feel like a rockstar and my superiors think I'm some whiz. I just picked it up by using Stack Exchange threads for my specific needs and piecing things together. Letting the giant fart out that you've been holding in for the entire date. Farting while you have a traffic cone up your ass and it's really loud. Garlic bread. Yes. Indeed. That feeling of sitting in the grass, with the mild sun on your face, and realizing you're fine, that everything's gonna be alright. Yes, I would like this sometime please. Yeah, and then without crying realizing it is not real, and that life sucks. Getting up really early because you have a 7 AM anthropology lecture, but when you grab your phone off the nightstand you got an email from the professor saying class was cancelled, so you can sleep in until noon. The ecstasy and relief of finding out you have more time to sleep in general is absolute bliss. Exactly, I wake my tired ass up and it's a snow day. I collapse into my bed and sleep until 3 PM. When you've been laboring under the sun on a hot summer day, thirsty as fuck, and then you're finally done. So you go sit in the shade and drink water that's just the right temperature so it just goes straight down and quenches you without any brain or teeth freeze. TL. DRR/water niggas know what's up. When you finally put that damn uncomfortable shoes off. God, it feels like heaven. Why would you even wear uncomfortable shoes? Weddings? Job interviews? Work in general? After hours work parties? The list goes on and on. When the package you really need to arrive on time actually arrives on time. Or one day earlier. Oof. I ordered a pair of headphones that were going to arrive in 3-5 business days. I ordered them on a Friday, so I assumed that they would ship on Monday and probably arrive on Thursday or Wednesday. But at 10 AM on Monday, a while before I left for school, I heard a knock on my door, and the delivery guy is already there. After not even half of a business day, they shipped and delivered. Usually the Swedish post system is pretty bad, so this just made my week. A smooth bit. And when you go to wipe, the tissue is as clean as the driven snow. Back scratches. I agree with you. Good back scratches can absolutely be better than sex. That one spot you can't reach on your own. Yeah. To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. Woe their Genghis. Where do I sign up? Cuddling is pretty nice. Just being next to each other. Granted, it often leads to sex, but it's great if you don't. When the USB stick goes in perfectly on the first try. Ever heard of an USB-C? I still get it wrong the first 2 times. Shitting after constipation. If you don't know, you're a lucky person. What a coincidence. I've been constipated for about 3 days now. Can't wait until this is over. When will this be over? I went to the doctor, had to take laxatives and acid regulation for 3 days before I could. Well, release. Good food. Ever go to Japan and taste authentic sushi and good Japanese food? The explosion of umami in my mouth is amazing. I've eaten sushi from the same restaurant every week. I've never gone anywhere else. It could be a shit restaurant and I would never know. Having an itch on your ass but not being able to do it in public and waiting for a moment where you are private to let your nails unleash the scratchy wrath upon your butt. Surviving a gunfight. Nothing will replace the feeling when you hear the Apache coming. The enemy knows us well and the bullets stop flying your way. The claps of the bullets all around is replaced by silence, only broken by the Apache circling around, acquiring a target solution. You know you are alive when the whole ambush you were sure you were finally dead this time. Laying next to my daughter as she falls asleep cuddling me. Nothing tops that feeling, little does she know I do, because I need it not so much for her comfort. So much this wife and I had been having a lot of troubles. My son would wake up almost every single night around 1 to 2 AM, and as to not wake my wife on nights she had to get sleep for work, I'd go and sleep with my son when he would wake up. Little did the critter know that I needed it more than he did. Thanks for watching. Please consider clicking the like button and subscribing if you enjoyed.